Welcome back to Changfied YouTube channel, your trusted source for latest updates across South Sudan and beyond. Thank you for joining us today for another important update. In today's report, we will look at three major stories coming out of South Sudan. These stories involved a court decision connected to South Sudan, first by President Dr. Riek Machar, a deadly cattle raid in Warab State, and a new order from authorities in Akobe County about civilians carrying guns. These developments show the political, security, and humanitarian challenges that many communities in the country are currently facing. Before we begin with this report, I would like you to help the channel by subscribing and turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Let's begin our report with court refused defense request in case involving Dr. Riek Machar. Our first report comes from Juba, the capital of South Sudan. A special court handling the case involving the country suspended first by President Dr. Riek Machar made an important decision on Wednesday. According to the report, the court rejected a request made by a defense lawyer who wanted access to several mobile phones that are part of the investigation. These phones are believed to belong to people who are also accused in the same case. The defense team argued that they need to examine the phone themselves. They say this was necessary in order to confirm whether the information taken from the phone is real and accurate. According to the defense lawyer, they wanted to check message, photos, and videos that investigators said were found on those devices. However, the court did not allow them to physically inspect the phone. The judge leading the case, James Alaladeng, explained the reason for this decision. He said allowing the defense team to handle the phone could put the evidence at risk. Instead, the judge ruled that the defense lawyer will only be allowed to review something known as edge values. Edge values are digital code used by forensic experts to prove that electronic data has not been changed. These codes act like a digital fingerprint. If the data is changed in any way, the code will also change. Because of this system, investigators say the codes helped confirm that the file taken from the phone remain exactly the same as when they were first extracted. The judge ordered the prosecution forensic expert to provide this digital code to the defense team before the next court session. The court then postponed the hearing until Monday, March 16. This will give both side teams to review the information before the trial continues. The case itself is connected to a serious incident that took place in March of 2025. According to authorities, a military base in Nasser was attacked. During the attack, 257 soldiers were killed. Investigators say large amount of military equipment were also destroyed or taken. Officials estimate that value of the lost equipment to be around $58 million US. Prosecutors claim that information recovered from several mobile phones shown communication between individuals involved in planning the attack. They say the message and media files suggest coordination, financial support, and planning related to the operation. The list of individuals accused in the case includes several well-known figures. Among them is first by President, who is now suspended, Dr. Riek Machar, who is 70 years old. Other individuals charged in the case include Port Kang Chol, Mampaldor Gadwij Lampoch, Lieutenant General Gabriel Doblam, Camilo Gan Michael, Mading Yakrik, and Dominic Gat Gokrik. Most of the accused are currently being held at National Security Service facility in Juba. Dr. Riek Machar himself remains under house arrest. The charges they they face are very serious. They include accusation of murder, conspiracy, terrorism, treason, destruction of public property, and crime against humanity. The court process is expected to continue in the coming week. Many observers say the case will have significant political and legal implications for the country. We will continue following this story closely and provide updates as new development emerge. Let's move on to deadly cattle raid killing 13 people in Warab State. Now we move to Warab State, where a deadly cattle raid has left several people dead and many others injured. According to the local authorities, at least 13 people were killed during the attack. 7 other people were also wounded. The incident happened on Sunday in Tonj County. According to the State Minister of Information, Mamer Bat Marol, the attack took place while people were sleeping at a cattle camp. Cattle camps are places where herders stay with their livestock and often in rural areas. These camps are an important part of life for many communities. Livestock represent wealth, food, and economic survival for many families in South Sudan. But unfortunately, these camps are sometimes targeted during cattle raid. Authorities say the attack arrived late at night and launched a surprise assault. They reportedly opened fire on people in the camp without warning. According to the report, among those killed were women and children. This has shocked many members of the community. Officials say the attacker also stole a large number of cattle before fleeing the area. However, local residents quickly organized themselves and followed the raider. A confrontation later took place. According to the report, during that pursuit, community members were reportedly able to recover more than 2,000 stolen cattle. Despite this recovery, the loss of life has deeply affected the community. Authorities believe the attacker may have come from nearby communities within the Luanjiang area of Tonj County. However, officials have not yet released a specific detail about the identity of the attackers. The state government said those responsible will be held accountable if they are captured. Cattle raiding has been a long-standing problem in many parts of Warab State and also across South Sudan. These raids often involved army youth groups from neighboring communities. Competition over livestock, grass, land, and local dispute can sometimes lead to this violence. Over the year, many lives have been lost because of this conflict. Entire communities have been displaced and families have lost large number of cattle. Government authorities have previously attempted peace initiative between communities involved in the raid. This effort includes dialogue, meeting, and reconciliation program. However, many of these attempts have not fully succeeded in stopping the cycle of revenge attack. Another major issue is the widespread presence of a small army. A report suggests that many of these weapons enter the region through illegal smuggling across border. This makes it easier for local conflict to turn into deadly confrontation. Well, even after the government declared a state of emergency in a part of Warab state in previous year, cattle raids have continued to occur. Security experts say this ongoing conflict could create serious challenges as South Sudan prepare for general election scheduled for 2026. Some analysts believe unresolved community tension and the large number of weapons in circulation could threaten stability if the situation is not properly addressed. For now, local authorities are calling for calm while investigations continue. Let's move on to our third top story. Akobo commissioner orders civilians to stop carrying guns. Our final report today takes us to Akobo County in Jonglei State. The local commissioner, James Quaid Makwait, has issued a new order aimed at improving security in the town. The directive tells civilians to stop carrying firearms in public areas. According to the commissioner, anyone who owns a weapon should keep it inside their home. He warned that people who ignore this order and continue carrying guns around town will be held personally responsible. The announcement was made as authorities try to restore normal life in the area. Recently, Akobo has experienced tension and displacement. Many residents fled their home because they fear possible fighting. They fear that the SSPDF can kill them. The commissioner is now encouraging people to return to the town, but people fear to return. He said the safety of residents is a priority for the local administration, but that is not what the local community are seeing. In his message, he specifically declared or called on community leaders to help encourage peace. This includes chief, local officials, teachers, religious leaders, traders, and women group. But most of these people, they are not in Akobo town. They fled and they are now in the border between Ethiopia and South Sudan. He also invites humanitarian organizations and United Nations agencies to continue their work in the area. Elder workers, aid group, and other support team are expected to help families affected by the recent crisis. The commissioner said humanitarian assistance will be one of the main priorities moving forward. Many families in the area are currently in need of food, medical care, and other support. Authorities hope that restoring calm in the town will allow aid organizations to reach people more easily. The commissioner also invited internally displaced people from nearby counties including Nirol and Uro to return home. He assured them that steps are being taken to improve security and stability. There is tension in Akobo follow military movement involving government forces and the SPLA-IO fighters. According to the South Sudan People Defense Forces, government troops entered the town on March 10 after clashes with opposition forces. The opposition group had reportedly controlled the area for several years. Officials say the new directive banning guns in public is part of a wider plan to stabilize the situation. Authorities hope this will help rebuild trust and allow normal life to return to the community. But this is not what the SPLA-IO are saying. SPLA-IO are saying that the local community should stay where they are, since the SSPDF are known to target the civilian. So for that reason, civilians should not go to Akobo town due to the reason that they will be targeted. These are the latest major developments coming out of South Sudan today. From the courtroom development in Juba to the tragic cattle raid in Warab State and the security measure introduced in Akobo County, this story highlights the complex challenges facing many communities across the country. As always, we will continue to monitor this situation and bring you updates as new information become available. Thank you for watching the Changfied YouTube channel. Bye-bye.